Cracker Barrel is making big changes to their restaurant, some would say are woke. And you can count Steak and Shake in that because they are mocking Cracker Barrel online and the response they're receiving as they try to turn the old country store into a DEI experiment from the Karens on high. Today we'll tell you why the Cracker Barrel stock looks like dumplings, and that's no good for a CEO who's gone totally woke. Hello folks and welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is a joy as ever to have you joining us, and yes, we are tackling a tale that is typically outside of what we cover here on the Pro Channel, but Cracker Barrel is part of the tradition of vacations, travel, and more, and thus we're going to take you on through what's going on as this restaurant is collapsing. It's the latest Jaguar, it's the latest Bud Light. Things are not all right. Click the like button and we'll explain. Take a look at this out of X. It's from Desiree America 4. Cracker Barrel didn't just lose its logo, it's lost its soul. And the folks all say, now wait a minute, Pro, wait a minute. You cover Hollywood. You cover theme parks. What are you doing over here? You're pining for Uncle Herschel's favorite breakfast. No, folks, listen. Cracker Barrel is a place that generally, I think all of them are right by the interstate. And they are a vacation tradition for so many people out there traveling to stop at Cracker Barrel and get their pancakes, get their breakfast or whatever it might be. And then they get back on the interstate and they go to the favorite places. It's a part of travel across the USA, sort of like Buc-ee's has become, right? So we're going to cover this because it's amazing, by the way. If we'll cover Jaguar and what happened to them, what's Jaguar? Exactly. If we'll cover that, we'll cover Cracker Barrel. Under a CEO more obsessed with DEI quotas than country charm, they have scrubbed the iconic logo, remodeled 70-plus stores, pledged $700 million to erase every trace of what made it feel like home, and according to a civil rights complaint, they've openly discriminated against the pale ones. This isn't modernization, it's extermination of Americana, of warmth of memory. Congratulations, Cracker Barrel. You're now woke barrel. Nobody asked for this. Now, I don't know if they're woke or not, and we're going to watch the video in just a minute. I think this is the sterilization, actually, and maybe that is woke. Maybe it's not. Folks, you tell us what it is. We'll come back to the video. I just want to show you the other statements happening right now. Eric Russell says, as a brand designer that worked at Cracker Barrel for almost 9 years, watching them commit brand self-deletion is something. Here's the new logo, by the way. Here's the new logo for it. They got rid of the barrel, and they got rid of the old man, the old white dude. Here's Steak and Shake. This is what makes it really newsworthy. We're covering it. We're covering this, folks, because this is fireworks. What was the last time, Jonas, that we saw a restaurant? Was it Wendy's? Did Wendy's?
Yeah, it was a lot of sassy Wendy's online stuff.
Who did Wendy's go after, though? They went after a celebrity. Who was that?
Oh, yeah. Somebody said that their food was frozen. And like, well, how are you transporting it if it's not frozen? It's like
Katy Perry. That's who Wendy's went after.
That might be a different one. That might be a different time that Wendy's went after somebody.
Wendy's went after months ago after Katy Perry. Yeah. Well, Steak and Shake is going after Cracker Barrel. You don't normally see somebody, and it's not like they're making a joke. Like they're flat out attacking them. Steak and Shake says this is what happens when you have a board that does not respect their historical customers or their brand. At Steak and Shake, we have gone back to basics. Our tallow fries are waiting for you. Oh, yeah, you can also pay with Bitcoin. Talking about the destruction of a great American brand. Tabitha, you have a tremendous track record when it comes to art and design. As we watch the video play of how they want Cracker Barrel to be now, walk us through why you think this might be good or bad. I don't know what your opinion is on it. And I'm not as strong on some of the stuff, but I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Is this the right direction or wrong for Cracker Barrel?
Well, I guess it depends on the crowd. Specifically, Cracker Barrel garners a lot of attention from Southerners, from country folk, and they love going to like that mercantile feel. Like I always explain that Cracker Barrel, it's like putting a little mini side Walmart next to a restaurant, like, or your grandmother's kitchen or something like that.
It's a general store, right? Like you walk into a general store and
Yeah, and so it's a whole experience going to Cracker Barrel because it's a very unusual kind of restaurant, the fact that you go through a store in order to get into the place. So yeah, it's a very unique experience. It's never been one of my favorite places to go. However, looking at this design choice, I will say that the pros of this is that it looks cleaner. But because that's what minimalism does. If you kind of study minimalism, a lot of it
Mhm.
has to do with inner peace and the philosophy that less is more, and feng shui, and very, very popular among the crunchy moms these days and the sad girl beige folk. So this might appeal to those people. The problem is that those kinds of people don't typically eat at Cracker Barrel. Those are the kind of people that eat at First Watch for breakfast, something that looks like
Exactly.
more upscale. It's got the avocado toast, okay? Like your grandma from Southern Louisiana is not going to First Watch to get avocado toast. She's going here to get her grits, her bacon, and her eggs. So I personally believe that it's a very bad decision because also we as Americans, we don't like change when we love something. Don't change our constitution, don't change our flag, don't change our national anthem. Leave it as is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's absolutely no reason for this to change unless they're trying to reach a different demographic, which doesn't really make sense because that demographic is not going to be shopping for moo and Dolly Parton CDs. Look, I love Dolly Parton, but like the current era is not trying to buy a bunch of, and I say this, I don't say this disrespectfully, but in the crunchy mom kind of idea, they're not going to a restaurant to buy a bunch of crap to take home. That's just not what they do.
No, I'm with you. And
They're not doing that.
Tabitha, tell me if I'm wrong about this. I'll give you a short story about where we're going. I guess with what I'll offer. Recently, some Imagineers, it got leaked online that the Disney Imagineers felt that this Frontierland change they're making, and this will make sense in the context of Cracker Barrel in just a moment. Folks, give me just a minute to get there. The Imagineers that are redesigning Frontierland, they said the setting doesn't matter. And that's how they're justifying that they're going to change it dramatically because the setting doesn't matter. You are your own person creating your own story. And therefore, if there are cartoon cars driving by an old, Western town, it makes no sense, but it doesn't matter because the setting doesn't matter anymore. I think that what we need to understand is with restaurants, I'm not even sure that half of what you're going to the restaurant for, except in some exceptions, is the food. Like a huge part of what you're doing is going into a setting, right? The food can be presented in one way in two different restaurants. In the setting, one will feel very extravagant, and one will feel very much like, well, this is just because the setting sets the mood. And I think that Cracker Barrel, part of what the whole setting idea was, is that you were stepping back into like the 1930s and 40s, and not in some sort of negative way, but rather we all, no matter what your race is, all of our ancestors, all of our people, and still many who are alive today and maybe listening to the show, experienced the 1930s and 40s, and it was stepping back into the better parts of that time, and thematically, that was the experience of Cracker Barrel. So if you remove that, you've removed what it is that people were going for in the first place.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put this on a
tell that
very.
to Hobby Lobby and Michael's and all the craft stores where all these people buy their holiday and decorations and whatnot. Theming absolutely matters. It's everywhere, whether it's in the Chevrolet store, whether it's at the Ferrari shop. I mean, like they decorate a certain way. It might be minimal, but there's a reason to decorate minimally for a reason. This, I think, is just trying to cater to a different kind of demographic, or they're trying to save money on something. Or you know what? And I don't want to be that person, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
That person, Tabitha. Do it.
The person that's in charge of making this decision is a woman, and sometimes, a lot of times, women love to change things because they like to try out new things. Not always a problem, not always a bad thing. It is part of our nature. It's just what women do. They like to try and explore things when it comes to comfort and design. But from a business standpoint, this is not a good idea when you understand your demographic. Country folk don't like change. Leave it alone.
So
Right.
if I can throw two things in here to amplify on what you've said, and Tabitha, what you've said. I don't associate Cracker Barrel with this Frankenfood known as impossible meat, but that was something that this current crop of Cracker Barrel executives added. I believe they've also added alcohol to the menu in some locations.
Yeah, and I'll come back to that when keep going.
Right. So here's the problem with changing it to resemble something more like a First Watch, something more up to date. When I think to myself, I want good biscuits and gravy, I want good home cooked meal type stuff, I don't think to myself, I would like an open floor plan, up to date. Actually, the more modern and neat that the store looks, the less I'm likely to expect that place to have good food at a reasonable price. I would rather go into some grandmother's kitchen where, you know, where the furniture has not been updated since 1958. I bet I'm going to have a better meal there than anywhere else. So what they're accidentally doing here is signaling to their customer base that this is a modern place. By the way, the prices are probably up a little bit more. The cooler it looks, the more I expect those prices to be up. And the food is probably not as good. So this is not a resounding, yeah, let's go get Cracker Barrel. Let's go get some of those unlimited biscuits. This is, oh, well, let's take the girls out let's get something that has an extra ingredient that is probably going to make it taste less, but we're going to accept that because that's the only way we can get the biscuits and gravy that we want. To me, this is like going into Panera. And when I look at the Panera menu, I think, I don't want anything on this menu. I have to find something to accept. Is it the $3 peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is probably $5 now because I haven't updated that complaint in years, or the bacon turkey Bravo, which I just want a turkey sandwich. Is there anything on here that says turkey sandwich? That's what I want.
Folks, listen, you don't want to take Jonas to a Starbucks. I've been through this. You take him to the Starbucks and they say, would you like a venti, sir? And he says, just give me a large.
You can tell them. You can tell them my exact order from the last time we went to Starbucks. What was it?
Venti shaken espresso, made with half and half. No, wait. No sugar, no classic. Add sugar-free vanilla, and make it with blonde ristretto.
Yeah, but did you know how I said it to them?
I want a coffee now.
No, I said whatever he just ordered. Give me that.
Okay, so let me just add this too, because we were talking about the alcohol portion of Cracker Barrel. It's not just the theming that has changed. So much about this restaurant has changed, and you know, different people have different opinions about alcohol and restaurants and all that. I don't want to get into that discussion. What I do want to say is thematically, when you add something like that, these stores have, and any restaurant will have this situation. And if you've worked at a restaurant, you'll know this. There is a limited amount of size and space and function within the kitchens of any restaurant. So when they introduced then alcohol at Cracker Barrel, what that did was, now I'm sure that for stockholders, what they said was, this is going to be increasing our margins, and it will bring in a crowd of people who say, let's go somewhere else because they don't, I can't get a beer at Cracker Barrel. But the problem is Cracker Barrel had this unique thing where you could go to Cracker Barrel and you could order, for example, these specialty beverages, non-alcoholic, that were very specific to Cracker Barrel. Like you could get an iced apple cider that came in a frosted mug, and it was huge, right? You could get these root beers and the same kind of thing, and all of this stuff that was very specific Cracker Barrel identity. And the issue is when you brought in the alcohol, those had to go away because there's always a give and a take. I want to play what the CEO says, and she's been the one who's been watching over all of these changes. And it just strikes me that maybe the Cracker Barrel changes share some parallels with what we've seen across the board with corporations and corporate people who simply don't understand what it is that people like about the stuff they're supposed to take care of. Here's the CEO on Good Morning America.
All right, I got to ask this question. I think I probably know the answer. What if all the customers are coming at you hard enough about the look of the restaurant and they want to go back to the old way? Would you do it?
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because
I can't believe that the managers, who you will be the one to decide if they go up or down, said that to you. Your idea. I can't believe it.
It's already telling because she said, let me give you another soundbite.
She's so great at her job, Jonas. Let me give you another soundbite. Oh, geez, Louise. Culture, get in here. I know you want to weigh in.
Look, okay, first of all, the recent comment is the thing that I'm going to address first. She's insane. And so are any of those managers. So are any of those managers who
I'm
are...
sorry, Culture. I love your analysis.
Well,
Culture just goes straight to, she's back. She's back because crazy.
Those managers, she is, because those managers are signing up to destroy their P&Ls. Because, there's a reason why these, homey locations with the wonderful meals that you can get at a reasonable price are popular. And they have all those little tchotchkes, and things that Tabitha was referring to that are not feng shui. First of all, all those little homey touches, all those things that I can purchase in the general store area of this place, those are revenue items. It's like your merchandise stuff. Like if you're a theme park, speaking of which, destroying this is destroying a theme park like Disney's doing. If you want to bring it into parallel, you're destroying the bits of of the story that are there. If you're basically saying with the remodel, if these are really genuinely what these silly Imagineers that are probably completely meritless that are doing this redesign of Frontierland, what they're saying is we're no longer a theme park.
Right.
We're an IP park.
If you're Cracker Barrel, why do you want to be First Watch? There's already a First Watch. There's not another Cracker Barrel.
And I've been dropping like little tidbits and links and stuff in the background for you guys, but I'm just going to say this. They went this year, Cracker Barrel under this lady's leadership went full pride at a time when everybody else was running away from it, especially Target, who had their CEO resign yesterday because of their disastrous collapse.
Right. When even Target has left the building and Cracker Barrel's just getting in, it's like, okay.
And finally, how to know that you're not associated with your audience is that you go crazy woke at a time when 74% of the counties that you're in went for Trump. You're going against your audience, just like Disney's done for over a decade. And once this lady came in, she destroyed this. If you are looking seriously, if you are a manager and you're going to your lady for a remodel, and the destruction of what the quaint elements are of your store that give you positive side on your P&L, yeah, you're going to get square footage back, but you're going to get less customers. This is a problem that these people don't understand. It's why you target every square foot of your business to the thing that'll make it the most profitable. Right. This is not going to do that.
And I don't think, by the way,
pause on this, Vash. That was kind of the indication to me. This is the cultural totem right here. They changed the peg game, the golf tee game. It no longer says that you're an ignoramus if you lose the game. It now says, "Don't be embarrassed. Try again." No.
They might as well put out there, "You're still swell. Here's a trophy."
Yeah.
You can't figure out a simple peg game, you 3-year-old. But my favorite thing, Culture, one of my favorite things about you is you have tremendous analysis. But the way you start off, I love it. I mean, I go to some people and they start off gingerly, and they wade in. Culture goes straight to, she's an idiot, her mother was an idiot, her grandmother was an idiot, and her great-grandmother was a one-eyebrowed nonsense maker. I love it.
Well, again, I mean, in the dumb question from somebody who, was a football player, is very telling as well. I mean, I look at this. Well, what are you going to do if your sales go down? If your stock price collapses? What are you going to do? I'm gonna double, triple, quadruple down like we do when we think that I don't care what your ideas are, and I'm gonna force this change. Okay, this is the problem with people like Larry Fink and everybody else who thinks we can force cultural change. Do you realize that one of the things about Americans is the fact that we are independent and rebellious? You're going to try to tell us what to do? No. I mean, look, Japan figured this out. They knew it in advance, but they figured it out back in Pearl Harbor. They're the ones that got us into the war.
Culture, get out of here today. I can't handle you.
I'm angry. I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong, but man, the energy that this guy's... I'll tell you what I want when I go into Cracker Barrel. I don't think that... When I go into Cracker Barrel, I don't like all the browns. It's not aesthetically pleasing to me. Mm-hmm. I don't care. It's what Cracker Barrel is. When I go into a Cracker Barrel, I want old people all around me. Okay? Because they love it. I get it. It's either that or Captain D's. You got to have food that's soft enough for reasons we won't get into. And I want a fireplace, and I want that fire roaring, and I want my shingled pancakes, darn it, and give it to me now. Vash, have you ever been to a Cracker Barrel?
I have on a couple of occasions. Look, it's nice, old, homey food. You know, it's
you like the old people. You like the old people like I do.
Well,
Grandma's kitchen. I'm in Grandma's kitchen in the Cracker Barrel. To be fair,
it's this kind of relaxing, step into the past kind of.
You don't got to be afraid to spill milk on the floor in Cracker Barrel.
That's right.
Oh,
it's an idea.
They might even cover your table in ketchup. Oh wait, that was another tradition that went away over at Disney. But let me, one last thing. I'm just going to say another thing they have in common with Disney is they are definitely going to lose.
If you bring up the art of war in this, I'm just losing it, man.
Confucius says,
Sun
change
Tzu
Cracker Barrel.
we're going to watch the bodies of our enemies float by, but beyond that,
casserole.
That's look, they're going to lose men and boys. Okay, if you make this all foofy, men and boys are done. This is no longer a family joint.
Attempting to gentrify it and make it like everything else, that's out there, to try and strip the character, the soul out of this, is like you guys have said before, there are other places that do that. Cracker Barrel had its own identity, so stripping that out just makes it like any other place. Well, like we said with the Walt Disney Company, right? You take out the things that make it Disney, then it's any other company that is in this case underperforming compared to its competitors. Go ahead.
One more suggestion, and I want Pro to weigh on this one. This is like taking the Walmart out of Buc-ee's.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like if you pulled up to a Buc-ee's and they had Polar Pops, and you'd be like, "Why do you have Polar Pops? You don't sell Polar Pops. You sell the little beaver, and you get the drinks, right? Okay, that's what you are. Do that, please. I don't want Speedway. I don't want whatever other gas station there is. I want my Buc-ee's. That's why I'm here. That's your identity." Let me go to Tabitha, though. Tabitha, I'm going to give the final word on all of this. I think, too, part of what the problem here is they failed in moving in a slow way that didn't create a disjointed feeling when people walk into these rebranded stores or when they sit online. I think if they had just redone the general store area that you walk into at the beginning, like if they had painted those walls white and done a little refresher there, a glow up, if you will, then I don't think this would have blown up all over the internet. And then they could have seen what the feedback was and say, well, maybe we'll try that now with some of our restaurants, like in the dining rooms. But going all in, that I think blew up in their faces.
Absolutely. Again, it's like kind of going back to the whole people don't like change per se. Like the demographic that typically goes to Cracker Barrel, they don't really like change. They like it the way that it is. And if you're going to do a glow up, it still needs to be within the perimeters of the style. So you could lighten the wood. You could maybe reorganize the way that they display things, but overall still keeping that aesthetic. Maybe have it less, Pride and not Pride and Prairie. I was going to say
that's on the front porch, Tabitha.
Yeah, that's the wrong one. I was going to go with. I forget that. It's very Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I'll go with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. And people love it. It's endearing. But if I would just like to say that all of this, it doesn't matter whether it's this store, other stores, you look at the architecture of our cities these days, and you all contrast it with the way that humans used to endeavor in their products and in their spaces. And my conspiracy theory of the day is that all of this is leading to a future of assimilation where nobody is unique, everybody is the same, and we're going to be taught that this is what is right, this is what is clean, this is what is healthy, this is actually what you want because it brings peace, prosperity, it brings a false sense of assurance and cleanliness because it's aesthetically pleasing, and it will just all go into the guise of communism.
Culture is rubbing off on you, Tabitha. Culture.
No.
I blame this on culture.
You think about it, they all are starting to look the same. It's all going with grays, beige, and white. And this is not inherently evil. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is slowly stripping every single company of its uniqueness. Going for minimalism is not always the right answer. It is for some things. I would not want a car shop to look like a Cracker Barrel. That would just look unprofessional. It's not the right place and time to do something like that.
Ooh.
But you look at the way that our world is going, where everything's easier, cleaner, simpler, less interesting, and it's all going to lead to where we all have the same mindset. Nobody is special, and everybody just needs to be in 100% in agreement. This is actually what you want. This is actually what is better for you. Meanwhile, giving us subpar products that we will never really understand what it once was to be like. The future generation has no idea what good movies are anymore. They don't understand what Disney parks are like anymore. They don't understand what really good restaurants were like. They don't even understand what good train stations and the downtown cities used to look like.
Ooh.
It's all leading to a future where everybody's the same, and you are happy about it because that's equality for everyone.
Cats and dogs
I'm
living
sorry.
together, mass hysteria.
I just have to throw this in here, even though you said you give Tabitha the last word. Martin Stone has a great quote. All of these CEOs, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's the Disney company, whether it's Cracker Barrel, they all came in and they were embarrassed by their companies and said, we have to fix this. We have to make this cool.
That is a great quote, and I will stop all of you from stealing Tabitha's final word. I know, Culture. I'm sorry.
Jonas.
Hey, Tabitha, 1980s Pizza Huts are better too, right?
100%.
You know, it's always sad when one of these video ends, and yet it is the beginning of the wait for the next one to land. 4 times a day right here on the Pro Channel. And by the way, there's plenty more on our partner channels. That Park Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and go check out the original music we have on stations like Vacation Radio. We'd love to have you, love to entertain you. At least we'll do a better job than some of the current entertainment companies. Folks, like, share, subscribe, and you know what? Drop a comment right on down below. Share this out anywhere you go on social media. And until the next time, we have the honor, the pleasure of getting to spend time with you when you choose to invite us into your day to add the value that we hope to bring your way. We ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be a free taste of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.